The renewable energy ruse has been exposed today for all to see. The absolute bunkum you've been fed for years by Labor and by the Greens and by the Teals and by most of the media, of course, has been exposed. Your power prices will not be going down, and there's nothing about the government's plans, models and policies that says they will. Now, I've been banging on about this for years, of course. The spin and the lies have been plain to see for anyone prepared to look at the practical realities, at the science, you might say. But under questioning today, even the government's own energy market operator couldn't deny the unpalatable truth.
Will Australians see a reduction in power prices anytime soon?
We don't model power prices, and so I couldn't answer that.
He couldn't answer that? Wow, that's the first bit. That's bad enough. The organisation in charge of the electricity market can't even say whether prices are going to go down. Remember, this is the same body the government constantly defers to when it comes to the relative cost of renewables or gas or even nuclear energy. But this body admits it doesn't even calculate the end cost to you, the price you pay for your electricity. And it gets even worse. Listen to this.
But you're saying you cannot guarantee that the current government policy settings which you model will deliver lower power prices?
I can't guarantee that, no.
What an admission. And well done to Matt Canavan there with the questioning. As I've been pointing out on this program for years, talking to expert after expert, the rush to build wind turbines and solar factories and thousands of kilometres of transmission lines and install batteries and build phantasmagorical pumped hydro dams, all this comes at an enormous cost, and you end up with electricity that is expensive and unreliable. And now the body in charge of implementing the government's renewables transition pipe dream admits it doesn't even calculate the cost to consumers, and it can't guarantee that costs will go down. But the government told us this.
Reducing power prices by $275.
By 2025, $275 a year.
$275 a year.
We'll get power prices down by $275 a year.
Look, some people might have believed them and voted for them on the basis of that nonsense. And everyone knows it's nonsense now because prices, instead of going down by $275 a year, have gone up by about $500. Yet the political deception continues because the government keeps telling us this.
Australians know that the cheapest form of energy is renewables.
Renewables are the cheapest form of energy.
We know that the cheapest form of new energy is renewables.
In renewable energy, which we know is the cheapest form of energy, the cheapest form of energy is renewable energy.
That renewables are the cheapest form of new energy.
Just rot, just delusion, just spin. Most of the figures Labor points to are dodgy. They either fail to look at nuclear, or they fail to consider what exploiting more gas would do to costs, or they fail to consider the massive cost of transmission and batteries to support renewables. In fact, the sort of system they base their claims on has never been built anywhere in the world. It's a massive, world-first electricity grid experiment carried out at your expense and at our risk. And so we end up with this sheepish admission.
But you're saying you cannot guarantee that the current government policy settings which you model will deliver lower power prices?
I can't guarantee that, no.
Yeah, instead of guaranteeing lower prices, the market operator only claims that its renewable plan is the cheapest way to get to the government's emissions reductions targets under its time frame and within the rules given to it by the government. In other words, the fix is in. The government's chosen the broad model, and the market operator only estimates the cost of delivering that model. Clearly, there are cheaper and more reliable ways to power this nation while also dramatically reducing emissions, such as models that include nuclear energy or more gas. Just ask Finland or France or South Korea, or ask Microsoft, Google, Amazon or Oracle in the US. But the government doesn't want anyone to consider any alternatives. Labor and their friends, the Greens and the Teals, are happy for you to wear the cost of their renewables experiment.